Okay.
Live.
Looks like we on live.
Seems like that.
Okay, let's start then.
Yes.
So, hello everyone. Thank you for making time to attend this session. My name is Vladimir Litvinov. I am software engineer and team lead in EPAM Systems. I will facilitate today's session, and today we'll focus on the topic your standout CV and entry ticket to interview for high-profile engineering roles. Could we take a look at the presentation, please?
Yeah, we have prepared a couple of slides to demonstrate the value of high-quality profile and the meaning, what does it mean and why it is necessary. Vladimir?
And let me introduce. We're fortunate to have a very experienced speaker with us today. It's Svetlana Bedrenkova. Hello, Svetlana.
Hi, Vladimir. Hi, colleagues.
She is a manager of talent development, as well as soft skill trainer, mentor, facilitator, and I believe a lot of else. And to be honest, I was shocked to learn that you have accumulated almost 73,000 of man hours of being a trainer. So it's very exciting to have you here. So before we start, let me make two short notices. We'll have ample time to answer all your questions, so feel free to write them in the chat in YouTube on the VR community chat as well. And in the end of the session, we'll have a couple of announcements and updates related to MGC, so stay tuned. I believe that's it from my side. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to Svetlana.
Thank you, Vladimir, and thank you for having me today. And you have mentioned enormous hours of training delivery experience. Yeah, I would like to highlight the difference between a trainer and a trainee or newbie. Just believe me that trainer has made a lot of errors in the area that a newbie can even have no understanding about. So when I have started when I have started in my role that justify my presence here today, I have made a lot of mistakes. Not only me, however, unfortunately, our engineers. My production experience is about 5 years. I have contributed to establishing and running of the corporate service, CV processing and interview support. And my team helped our engineers to draft and to polish their nice CV, presented to the client or to the project, and helped them to or rather my team members, they act as sparring partners to our engineers before interview with the project or with the client. So believe me, everything that we will elaborate on today, it's based on actually painful experience and of course, gainful experience. So every pros and cons from real life to your attention and to your benefit. And I like this topic very much. I like this topic. I do believe that it is endless, despite the fact that we are in the digital era now. So here is my first question to you, to the audience. Please take a look at the screen. You can see the QR code now. Please use your smartphones to enter to the Mentimeter, because I will have several questions to you. I'm curious about your understanding about your background. So please join me in the presentation for the first question that comes in 5 seconds. Do hope that you have already joined. Yeah, I can see a lot of people have joined it. So maybe 5 seconds more, allowing you to be in.
And you can also use a link, Menti.com, and use code. Sure. If you don't have QR code scanner.
Yeah. If by some reason, it's more convenient for you, for instance, to open another window in your browser and on your desktop, then feel free to join us at menti.com and using the code that you can see on the screen now. And you will see this code on the next slide. So we live in a digital era. Yeah. It looks like we are going to shift to the paperless hiring. That's why my first question to you, please share your opinion. To what extent do you agree or disagree? Please share your vision that in today's world, the CV is outdated. Profile on GitHub or profile in social media, yeah, they are much more important than having a CV. I can see the first answers already arrived. And we will see on the screen the average of the answers. The numbers are from 1 for strongly disagree to 5 strongly agree. So we can see now that majority of our audience is rather not strongly, but disagreeing regarding that. Can see that we are heading toward a little bit towards the average. Okay. Actually, I was not sure what I will get. I was not confident what kind of answers I will get, and that's why actually it's really interesting to see your opinion, because I can support both ideas, that CV is outdated or CV is necessary. And let me share justification, let me share why. On the one hand, there are LinkedIn as a professional social network, and one of the leading experts on the LinkedIn, one of the career consultant and AI recruiter, shares the opinion that in the near future, CV will shrink to a single paragraph, focused only on AI skills because nothing else will matter. LinkedIn conducted kind of poll among career seeker and identified, based on more than 6,000 of answers, identified that it looks like to the end of 2025, there will be no need in the paper CV or in the CV as a document, not necessarily printed out, however, the document. That's one opinion. And of course, there are some justification under this opinion because we produce digital footprint now. We look for a job using virtual environment, referrals. We have our career story and so on and so forth. And we can use social media. And I know that people use a lot of social media for creating a professional image, creating and maintaining professional image. So we can believe, we can imagine, we can assume that to the end of 2025, there will be no need in the CV as a doc. On the other hand, there are still some specific issues in this real world that makes the CV, the real CV, important and necessary. And let me share a few of them. Let me justify the opposite point of view that the CV will steal on demand. For instance, starting with May 2018, there is a so-called GDPR in force in the European Union, and I know companies that prohibit recruiters from contacting candidates if those candidates didn't include in their CV the statement, something like that, one of the 3 options, every option is viable. So I know there are companies that train recruiters to contact candidates only if they have provided the CV and they have included the statement like that they agree with processing their personal data. Actually, GDPR has introduced a lot of restrictions regarding contacting candidates, processing their personal data, so on and so forth. Then that's why a lot of companies, they do prefer aiming not to risk, just to prohibit, just to exclude this possibility. So if a candidate didn't provide the CV, it means that the candidate shouldn't be contacted. Yeah. Pros and cons. There are pros and cons in this approach. Still, for the candidate, it means that if you apply to a bigger company, to maybe a little bit bureaucratic company like a bank or maybe big consulting company, this very necessary step should be included. So your CV with the statement that you agree with processing your personal data. What does personal data? Yeah, your name, your profession, your experience, other personal data included into the CV, like education and so on and so forth. So if you'd like to be visible for recruiters, you still need this document called CV with this statement. That's one reason. Second one, if you look for a job as a single person, if you apply for the company, you may contact recruiter, you may respond to the open position in the social media and so on and so forth. Still, at some specific stage, you will be asked to provide a CV. Why? Because providing CV, providing document is kind of social contract, kind of commitment, that everything that is included into the CV may be a topic for discussion during a call, during an interview. So if you say that you have 6 years of experience as a Java backend developer, if you say that you are certified, you have bachelor degree and so on and so forth, if it is stated in the doc, it may be a topic for discussion. It may be a subject matter for an interview, for maybe even background check and so on and so forth. So it's kind of rules of the social game. That's why I call it social contract or your commitment. Moreover, when the company introduces candidate, for instance, our company, we introduce our engineers, our talents to the clients, looking for approval, seeking for client approval that, yes, I admit this person to my project. Yes, I am ready that this person works for me. And if we provide a CV, usually it's anonymized. However, we commit at the company that, yes, we have this person. Yes, we have this talent. Yeah, further details may be under question or not, or the candidate may be accepted. However, if a client accepts candidate, it means that, yeah, we commit to provide this person or to ensure this person is staffed in to the project. And last but not the least, maybe the most important thing, yeah, ATS or applicant tracking systems. A lot of companies, or rather it's a best practice already, not for a lot, but for majority of companies, they handle candidate in an automated way, like applicant tracking system. So if they receive a CV, they feed the ATS with this CV, and the CV is parsed by keywords, by specific criteria, like maybe experience or maybe languages the candidates speak if they are just specified in the CV, or maybe tooling, frameworks, libraries, so on and so forth. So every company may tune the ATS as they wish. Still, this automated handling usually tracks the CVs and uses the keywords from the CV to cluster, to locate, to map a candidate to specific open position or to specific department. That's why actually they do need the doc. Moreover, if you'd like to be creative, so to say, to stand out of the crowd with your CV, and if you maybe invent a nice specific name for the section instead of experience, yes, the standard name of this section is experience, yeah. If instead of that you use my way to success, you have a really big chance that your CV will be not parsed properly because the keyword is not identified. Still, we will talk about such issues a little bit later. Meanwhile, let me support your opinion that still the CV is rather necessary now. Maybe not crucial, however, very necessary. And that's why, actually, why we still consider CV necessary. Here is my next question to you. Please guess. Please do not Google, however, do your best to guess. How many CVs do Google recruiters receive per day, per working day? Just a wild guess. Google search will provide you with the answer. However, now I encourage you to be creative, yeah, to apply your wild guess. Welcome. You can see, yeah, diversity in answers from 500 to 20,000 so far. Thank you. And by the way, thank you for not Googling. Yeah, thank you for not Googling, and there is no right answer right now. Yeah. Still, there are a lot of answers very close to the right one. It's about 8,000 CVs. Yeah. Thank you. I can see 5,000 is quite close here, or 10,000 is quite close. 6,000, yeah, 8,000 CVs per day, or 2 million applications per year. If we divide it on 250 working days, approximately in a year, then we will get this number. And just imagine, if you'd like to apply to Google, Amazon, what else? Yeah, this Mahang company, Meta, Amazon, Atlassian, Netflix, and Google. Yeah, if you'd like to be a part of those mavericks, then somehow you need to stand out, knowing that there are about 8,000 applicants sending their CV same day that you have done it. And because of this big number of the CVs, may you please guess once again how fast a recruiter that receives so many CVs per day, yeah, how fast a recruiter decides whether to continue with you as an applicant or whether to throw your CV in the trash or put your CV in the trash box on the Outlook. Oh, it looks like our audience is prepared, because majority of us, thank you, colleagues. Yeah, I can see that majority of us, you have already identified the right answer. And second part of the article in Incorporated that I have referred to, second part of the article looks like that. Yeah, Google gets 2 million applications. Your resume must pass the 6-second test. What does it mean actually? Yeah, that a recruiter, based on the first glance, you can count here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, done. The timeline is really short. And if you ever have wondered what a recruiter is looking for during those 6 seconds, let me inform you a little bit. Yeah, this test was made by eye tracking device, and you can see a greener area of a little bit more attention and red area with the biggest attention, so with the biggest time devoted to this specific line or this specific paragraph and the CV. And if you'd like your CV to pass this 6-second test, then it is a kind of best practice to use clear fonts and simple layout. Here is not the place for the creativity, or not the place to have your name in the handwritten mode, yeah, in some specific creative font. Yeah, it would be great to have your readable, maybe bolded, maybe a little bit greater font, bigger font, your name and title or position you apply for. That's evident, yeah. And maybe less evident that current or recent job should be mentioned first. Not your first job after university comes first. However, your past job, your recent job if you are still in the project, and then in reversed chronological order, the other projects or sufficient or significant job. There is no need to include everything. Once again, your main idea, if you'd like your CV invites you to an interview, then the relevant phrases, cases, projects should be included. And it is recommended to tailor your CV to every position. For instance, if you apply for just Java developer, kind of full stack developer, then there are one structure or one wording for your CV. If you apply for Java backend developer, then emphasis should be made on Spring, on specific to backend performance optimization and so on, maybe some specific databases you are familiar with and so on. And if you apply for consultant or software maintenance engineer, then it would be great to have an example of customer-focused communication of client project without client name, however, with the task you have completed. So if you'd like to pass this 6-second test, then actually that's additional work. However, it is worth to do to tailor your CV to the position you'd like to get. And maybe one more idea, so-called F pattern. F pattern means that, like the letter F, the first line in the project description is the general description of the project or the task done, and then you use these bullet points, maybe not one, maybe several bullet points, so you see this F letter with a lot of short lines in the middle with a lot of bullet points, reflecting your responsibilities, your key contribution. So the recruiter can see the long line with the project meaning, what was the difference made by you and your team, and then your accomplishment, your tasks performed. And one more idea regarding 6-second. First things should come first. You can see this nice individual, that's a real person, that's a real living person in America. In his profession, he is a children doctor. In his hobby, he is a biker. And imagine the situation. You are in park with your child. Maybe some incident happens. Your child looks like is injured. And the guy from the right approaches you saying, "Hey, look, I am a children doctor. Let me take a look. Let me help you." To what extent would you trust this person that is pictured here on the right? Of course, if the person on the left approaches you, you are okay with trusting. However, the guy on the right looks suspicious for the doctor, agree? And that's why. Please keep in mind that you will never have a second chance for the first impression. To my surprise, I'm really surprised that even now, in 2025, when we work remotely, when international blended teams are just a normal, not new normal, but already acceptable, or already well-known normal. Even in those times, I can see, and I understand why, I can see one of the first line on the candidate CV, like born, date of birth, education, having driving license. I know why it happens. Because usually we are accustomed, or we use the template, especially if there is a template for non-IT positions. We use the templates, and in those templates, we may find something like, place of birth, maybe driving license, other license, and so on. And recruiter, IT recruiter, looking through the CV, saying, and driving license with 5 years of driving experience. How does it correlate to the Java backend developer position? Please review your CV and include only something that is really necessary, something that is directly relevant to the position you are looking for. And your first impression is the summary. Please take a look at this summary. That's a real life example. That's a copy-paste from a CV of a real engineer that's also a living person. And the summary in his initial CV looked like that. If you go through all those lines, okay, here's a nice story, yeah? How the person has started career, yeah, how he was a junior Java front-end developer, then how he became a senior, and so on and so forth. Still, I would say a recruiter will be bored after the second paragraph. That's a nice story. However, that is a slow story. And as a team lead, I have experience of leading distributed team, 2 to 6 people. Yes, it is a real experience. However, every team lead today, almost every, yeah, leads a distributed team. 2 to 6 people, just a normal team composition. And all the tasks mentioned after, there are standard tasks of a team lead. Task decomposition, estimates, technical documentation, and so on. So every team lead does something like that. Or let's take a look maybe at the last line, at the last bullet point, maybe the most significant one. Last 6 months, I have got some responsibilities of a solution architect. Maybe it's the most important for the position. However, what is the probability that a recruiter or a reader reaches this very last bullet point? Actually, probability is a little bit higher than reaching the second last point, because the last point here draws a little bit more attention. However, if you'd like not to bore recruiter, if you'd like to create really good, sound professional first experience, then I would suggest something like that. Bullet points without personal pronouns, without time fillers like a lot, many, usually, and so on and so forth. A lot of professional buzzwords, and first things first. Proven track record in development team lead and solution architect role. So something that is most important should be on top. And then, of course, tools, technologies, something like that. And the most important, for instance, maybe the third bullet point. Here is an expert in migrating Java monolith to microservices. Here is the task that this person has completed a dozen of times, maybe 100 of times. I don't know, yeah, his real background. Here is the core essence of this professional. If we hire a professional to solve the problem, then this professional announces that I am expert in solving your problem in migrating monolith to microservice application, or I am the expert in solving the problem about improving design, yeah, of the application in a cloud. Take a look at your CV from the client point of view, or from the business point of view. Do they will they have a chance to find in your first 5-7 lines of your CV the tasks and expertise that you are hands-on with? Do they have a chance to see that here is a problem solver of the problem like ABC? And if not, then I would strongly suggest to insert the phrase like expert in resolving this task in this environment for this purpose, for this business. Let me show a little bit more. Yeah, that's a tailoring CV to position, of course. I have mentioned already that for every position, the CV should be tailored. And maybe you may consider not relevant or not very relevant, something that is non-technical stuff. For instance, your degree in the university, it's not the computer science degree. However, for specific, highly knowledge-loaded business domain, like pharmaceutical or healthcare, or something else like medicine or financial domain and insurance, if you have university degree in the relevant professions, in the relevant subjects like chemistry, biology for pharma domain, or finance for the financial services and insurance, then it is worth to mention in the summary. It provides you with the handicap compared to other candidates. Quite often today, we face the cases when a person has re-qualified or was retrained to enter the IT sphere. That's quite a normal situation today, especially for data analyst, for machine learning specialist, and so on. And if you have 5, 7, 10 years of real life experience in one of the complex domain, like logistic or warehousing or finance, banking and finance, it is worth to mention also. It is your pro, it is your advantage comparing to other candidates. One more controversial case, whether to include a hobby that is relevant or not relevant to profession. And my suggestion is, feel free to to mention your hobby if you can prove that it relates to your profession, that actually you may benefit or your project may benefit from your knowledge and passion. Usually we have hobby out of passion, yeah, that your project will benefit from your passion, let's say to drones, yeah, and to unmanned cars, for instance, yeah, that you are interested in writing scripts, in testing, and so on and so forth. And if by occasion you use some specific similar products that your project produces, some healthcare or maybe some banking application, if you are a user of those products and you have your opinion, what can be improved, what is good in this project, that also mentions it. Still, be prepared that everything that is mentioned in your CV may be used as a topic for discussing with you during an interview. So include in the CV only the topics and subjects that you will be happy to discuss. And what else?
So, before we'll jump to the next slide, we have two questions. First one, it's more about summary that you showed us. So, is it a good idea to show amount of years in the first line of CV?
It depends, I would say. Yeah, and usually the relevance between years and position, yeah, in my understanding, years are just years. It is just a number. And still, my opinion is not the overall opinion. Okay, it is a fact. 11 years of experience. Still, what is behind those 11 years? Variety and complexity of the tasks. Or maybe the same tasks done from the project to the project. Yeah, it is a matter of discussion. What may be vulnerable with those years mentioned in the first line? Imagine that you apply for the position of just a regular developer, not solution architect, not key developer, but just a developer, just for the project. Yeah, and the first question that you may get if you are invited to the interview, so you have 11 years of experience and you applied for a regular developer position. Why? If you are ready to justify your choice, for instance, you can mention that you feel comfortable with this very domain, you are happy with improving the existing code, or you are deeply technically devoted person, not looking for a leadership position, yeah, then of course you can include these numbers. Yeah, actually, a lot of companies have a bias that after 10 years of experience, a specialist may feel bored by the profession or may strive to be a team lead or solution architect after some specific extent, after some specific tenure. So be ready to explain, to justify why are you happy all those 11 years in the industry, in your profession, in your position. And once again, for me, years, there are only number. Just compare. You have a driver having a driving license for 5 years and for 10 years. You have two drivers. Yeah. Does it mean that the second driver is 2 times more experienced than the first one? Yeah. Because the first one has only 5 years of experience and the second one has just 10. Actually not. Maybe the driver with 5 years of service, yeah, he has run through the severe conditions, through the nights, through long drives, and maybe under specific circumstances, let's say in the mountain or whatever. So the main idea for me and the hope for majority of project is complexity and variety of the task completed. What can be responsible for? What the candidate can be responsible for? Still, we cannot persuade every recruiter and every project that a candidate with 11 years of experience is not bored. Yeah, if they are persuaded, yeah, if they are convinced that after 10 years of experience an engineer should be bored or should strive to solution architect roles, then nobody can convince this person in something else. Moreover, for you, it is a sign that if you need to convince somebody, yeah, that you are entitled to be just a regular developer after 10 years, maybe it's not your cup of tea or not your cup of project, yeah, to invest your time and to prove day by day that, yes, I am not bored. Yeah. Actually, hiring is a two-way street. And,
thank you for the question and thank you for the answer. We have one more. What if I don't have real experience? Let me maybe start the answer. So today on this presentation, we're talking about high-profile engineering roles. So if you don't have any experience, I believe that you should use some other approach to the CV creation. Svetlana, how could you comment it?
Yeah, first of all, get this experience. Yeah, if you are going to start your career in Google, I'm afraid without previous experience in some local company or so, or without an experience of passing internship, if you are a student of selected universities in the States, yeah, it is hardly possible. Still, if your ambitions are not spreading to Google, then let me suggest to use your university projects, your pet projects, if you have ones. Yeah, do not name them as a pet project or study project. Just describe them as a project to solve specific tasks, to overcome specific obstacles, to use specific frameworks, tools, and so on. Yeah. And demonstrate the skills, maybe not the proven track record of completing production project. However, demonstrate the skill difference. Within this project, I have used this framework and now I can use it from the scratch. I can refactor the code written by others. I can use it on the small project, on mid-sized project, and I'm looking for the really enterprise project in your company, yeah, something like that. Feel the difference, yeah, and demonstrate the difference. What have you gained during your maybe study, pet projects, volunteering projects, and so on?
Thank you. I have some more questions, but let's park them for now and finish with the main part, and then discuss those questions with the audience.
Okay, let's go. Then actually tailoring the CV, yeah, and what we may expect, yeah, In fact, we may expect that at some specific moment, we may have a CV not with description of all the projects, roles, skills, and so on. However, we may have a CV with a dozen of links. Here is my GitHub profile. Here is my social networks. Here is my pet project, for instance. Here is my results of the algorithm contest, and so on and so forth. I can well imagine that even in the nearest future, a CV will look like a set of links, useful links. What else is important? That we all have this digital blueprint, and our profile in professional network is kind of reputation in community. And if you have, or if you participate in some professional community, if you follow renowned professionals in your industry, if you like specific, if you provide those digital likes to specific conferences or posts of an author, so you increase your visibility. And when it comes to interviewing and hiring, then your name is a little bit more known than other names. That's why investing your time into creating professional social network is helpful for the future. It's your reputation, professional reputation. And what is also important, if you tailor your profile in the social media, then it's really important to invest not only in professional brand, however, to mention factual accomplishments. For instance, my team contributed to migration from to in so many months with so low downtime, and so on and so forth, to celebrate together, so to say, demonstrate your accomplishment as a team member. And you can see here, our digital footprint may become even more important. For instance, SAP already now is piloting kind of background checking, verification of candidates' experience based on blockchain technology. So just to identify that, yes, you have graduated from this university in this year, or yes, you have a labor record in this company from the year A to the year B, and so on and so forth. So it's quite possible that we will have more and more such solutions helping recruiters to select candidates with the authorized information, with verified information, and with illegal or non-authorized information. In today's digital era, it's especially important because, the candidate looks like an ideal one while crafting their CVs. While crafting the CV, every candidate may be a top professional in his industry just because we are social species, we live in the community, in the society, and approval from the society is really important. And quite often, interviewers, projects, clients, they buy confidence over competence. So if you can demonstrate brilliantly, bluntly, yes, that I'm great, you may win this lottery called interview. And maybe just practical tips. 2 practical tips. The first one about generic and specific description. I know that not a lot of engineers introduce the description of the client or of the project. If you do so, please be specific. It's really easy to say that it was an e-commerce project or it was an e-commerce company. Still aiming to increase your visibility and increase your value as a possible contribution to the project, be fair. Tell the truth. If it was one of the top 5 e-commerce companies, mention that. If it was the company that was cloud-based software company with such and such solutions or such and such clients focused on customer service, mention that. Or instead of just mentioning that it was oil and gas project, oil and gas operator, yeah, sounds like a fuel station. However, if you insert in the project description, it was a project for digital platform for multinational energy corporation operating in 150 plus countries, then the recruiter or the interviewer may assume that, first of all, you are accustomed to the processes. Second, you can work in the team because such scale of the project requires teamwork, of course, and you are ready to cross-cultural or cross-functional cooperation because the nature of work implies that. So it's not just mentioning specific facts about the project. It's about increasing your value as a candidate and helping you to stand out. Okay, one more example of generic to specific. And 3 out of 4 CVs that I have processed, they usually include as a task description something like that on the first line. I was responsible for coding, for bug fixing, for refactoring, for attending the meeting, for covering my deliverables with documentation, and so on and so forth. Aiming to be different. Add some specific facts from the real life. Something that AI would be not able to add. Yeah, something that only you know. Only you know. Yeah. What was the design and implementation of migration from one platform to another one. Only you know the downtime. Yeah. Only you know the performance on which part of the application or on which environment, yeah, and so on and so forth. So act as a human. And of course, my second tip is about AI. And my last set of questions to you. Please share your opinion. Today, generative AI is a new normal. Yeah? There is a buzzword or rather buzz sentence that the generative AI will not replace a human. However, human with AI skills will rather replace individuals, professionals without AI skills. Okay. Can see already 7 answers arrived. And can see that you are rational and skeptical about the first 2 questions, that AI can produce the best summary or selling points. Okay. First of all, thank you for the third input. AI is just a tool. The same with every framework, programming language, library, and so on and so forth. There are no good, bad programming languages. Of course, in Java community, I should vote for Java is the best programming language. However, let me be not so loyal, because Java is not better or not worse than every programming language we may use. Language, AI, is just a tool, and you may use it or misuse it. That's why actually AI is not a friend, not a foe, is just a tool. Let me demonstrate a few use cases where AI may be helpful. Of course, answering quite a simple questions. You can see that there were even research 1 year ago, there were even statistical research who answers the programming questions better. And you can see maybe the numbers are small, however, more than 77% says that AI answers better, however, more verbose, more words or more sentences are in the answers. However, AI answers better than real programmers, so to say. And we may use that. We may use that for the cases like that. In fact, you may ask AI to suggest possible positions based on your experience. You may feed up the ChatGPT with your CV, asking for, like my friend has asked it, yeah, Here is my resume. Yeah, and my friend was an academic teacher with 10 years of experience, and she had to relocate, and academic activity was not possible anymore for her. And looking for a job, she started with asking AI, here is my experience, here is my education, here is my credentials. What kind of job may I look for? And there were 7 suggestions. There is only one on the first screenshot. So generative AI may help you to position yourself. Who are you as a professional? What else? If you research job market, for instance, I know that generative AI, that those large language models, they are trained for some specific some specific time moment in the past. However, if you ask for the sources for studying the Polish or specific country labor market, yeah, you may get the question like that. You may get the answer like that. You may get the links to the sources, to the most common sources that were valid in, let's say, 2 years ago, and they are still valid. What else? You may ask, of course, you may ask generative AI to generate this nice selling point. Yeah, and you can see that the second phrase, second part of each phrase, it is actionable, so it contains verbs. Managed, yeah, demonstrated something, participated, ensured, and so on. So description of your experience is actionable. And last but not the least, you may ask generative AI to help you be prepared to your interview. You may start with easy questions, maybe the questions like, explain the difference between various Java collections. Maybe it is a stupid question because it's a theoretical one, and pure knowledge and fast answer to this question doesn't provide any impression on the candidate experience. Then you can ask generative AI to be more sophisticated, to modify interview questions, aiming to evaluate hands-on experience, and then be prepared or prepare the case studies from your real life to be prepared to the interview. If you are asked about something, you can demonstrate that, yes, in my recent project, I am responsible for 1, 2, 3. And if you ask me about that, I have done this in my previous project. Yeah, so generative AI may guide you through the interview prepping. And actually, that's it from me. And Vladimir.
Yes, thank you very much. We have a lot of questions, but I also have prepared one, so let me be the first one. It's related to AI. I will start with a bit of context. So in my work, from time to time, I'm facing a situation when other people should send me some, short information in email. They have this one sentence, they want to send it to me, but for them, it seems too trivial. And because it's corporate email, it should be, bigger and more complex. So they run it through AI to extend it. And in the end, I'm getting 10 sentences filled with unnecessary words and details. So what I do, I'm taking a look at this mail and just use AI to simplify it and to get the original sentence, more or less. And not always it's the original one, but closely. So my question, in such cases, isn't AI just an unnecessary complication and, broken telephone in some cases? And maybe it will be better to use some old-fashioned approaches and applying to CV the same, not to use AI to generate it, but use just written by the human.
Thank you for the question, by the way. I can recognize the CV constructed with the help of AI by the set of specific words like played pivotal role or contributed enormously to the success of the project. Yeah, I have seen a lot of such CVs and such words that are far from real life. That's why my suggestion, you may ask generative AI. By the way, our audience has identified it very well. Yes, that AI is only a tool. Yeah, that's why you may ask AI to generate. However, after the selling points are generated, review them and include, for instance, here is the text generated by AI. Review the text and include only the sentence that you are comfortable with. And if you'll be asked about that, you can elaborate on details. I can compare this approach, like I use AI for nice letter, and the other side use AI from deciphering this nice letter. I can compare this approach with double translation. You can just take a text in your native language, translate to foreign language, then you can take this language, then you can take this text and find the native speaker of this language and ask this person to translate this text back. You may be surprised with the difference in the first and the final text. That's why use wisely. And thank you for the question.
Short questions. Let's just try to have one-word answers. So photo include or not?
It depends on the job market. For American market, definitely no. For majority of European countries, yes. Why not for American market? Because they are instructed, the recruiters are instructed that a CV with the photo should go to the trash. Because photo contains personal information. We can recognize gender, more or less the age, the color of the skin, and all of that is considered as inequality in hiring. That's why for American project, definitely not.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. How many pages should CV have?
Good habit is to have 1 page per 10 years of experience. And that's a creative approach to fit 10 years into 1 page.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. What are difference between paper CV and LinkedIn CV? Should we use the same recommendations for LinkedIn CV?
Look, LinkedIn is your personal profile. You are the owner. You may put everything you feel important or you'd like. Your hobbies, your conferences, so on and so forth. Still, if you apply to the project, it's better to tailor the CV. You can download the text format, LinkedIn profile, and erase something that is not relevant to position or not include specific sections into positions. That's why LinkedIn profile is your personal property. You may do everything you'd like, even the photos. Still, for the CV, it's better to tailor the profile in accordance with the open position and the labor market.
Thank you. Okay, we have more questions, but let's maybe do our announcements. Guys, if you want to get answers to your questions, please go to YouTube and just write it in the comment. We'll take a look after the presentation and answer them. Thank you. So, small announcement. We are part of MJC community. And here I want to present you MJC School. If you want to join it as a student to learn Java or as a mentor to learn and to teach, so feel free to use this link or QR code and become part of our community. Let's switch to the next one. And I want to announce next event. So we'll speak about improving AWS Lambda startup performance with Snapstart. It will be more a technical discussion, technical talk, and with minimum of theory and maximum of practical advice. So please join us March the 12th. The speaker will be Alex Filichkin. Thank you. And also, guys, if you like this event, please rate it on the WEA community. I will send the link in the chat, and it should be already on YouTube. And feel free to send thank you to the speaker. That's it from my side.
And let me focus, let me highlight once again, for instance, the professional approach. Even to this, it's not the CV. However, look, we have an expert in improving AWS Lambda startup performance. So here is the person that is hands-on with this very task, with this tool, and so on and so forth. So those phrases, I wish you Such phrases will be included in your CV. Yeah, I am an expert improving AWS Lambda performance using the tool like that. And I wish you more interesting open positions and challenging cases, tailoring your CV to the position of your dream.
Thank you very much, Svetlana. Thank you very much, guys. And see you. Bye.